Hi, everybody. Geez, I hope you're doing well. Today, I'd like to tell a story that's important to me because it's about me. It's really about why I do what I do. It's called The Artist Within. And it goes, I hope, something like this. Why do I write? Why do I why do I work so hard to get these stories down, to finish these books? Let me try to explain. For me, it's the ultimate test of the brain. It's a gathering of wits, an agility of feet, a movement so quick, a slip of the feet, a dance step, one another, a flash, an idea, and the ultimate flutter of words, words, rushing to some story's end. And I am there with foil, the fencer, a parry, a thrust. I am in the adventure. Swept away by the torrent, the flood, I am in it so deep. It is part of my blood. Momentarily it lives, and when it is gone, I lust, I long, I crave for another, and yet that may not be. Perhaps this writing, this need to get it down is really a search for me, for it forces me to think back, to recall, to remember. Down dusty, creaky cellar stairs is where I had been sent, for to my Aunt Celia I seemed to represent dust and dirt, and a 9-year-old who might in some way hurt her precious home. So to the basement I was sent alone to explore. While behind me they closed the door, content that I was well away. In the kitchen they would stay to discuss the problems of the day, for sofas were rarely sat upon. Yet even though I was alone, I sensed that the basement would be far more fascinating than my aunt's "please do not touch me" home, an austere and provincial museum, much like Aunt Celia herself, with unattractive items upon every shelf. For Celia was a large, square-legged woman, a woman of little grace, who wore her suffering upon her face, and I think the thing that might describe her best was her constant grimace of distress. She was an unhappy person, an unjolly person. She was so unlike my mother. She had no girlishness. And yet, she was rich. This I know is true. She had married her second cousin, a man I called Uncle Lou, who manufactured women's bathing suits. And this couple, I tell you, was really a pair of beauts. As big as my Aunt Sally was, that's how small my Uncle Lou. He could come to our house and sit for hours without saying a single word. My aunt did all the talking, and although it seems absurd, he never seemed to care. His short legs never touched the ground but dangled from her overstuffed chair. His huge cigars seemed to take him away on the smoke rings he blew in the air. He was a mystery, an enigma. I could sit and watch him for hours and wonder what he was speaking, but my Uncle Lou, as I said before, was never in the speaking, so I didn't know, and I wasn't looking for a clue. But what I found in the basement that night was the very essence of my Uncle Lou. At first, the basement was dark and dingy and void of any pleasures. There were only, it seemed, some dusty discards and apparently no pirate treasures, when suddenly something startling seemed to penetrate the gloom. Something high up on some boxes in the back part of the room. It was a carving, a wooden carving, and made with incredible grace. A man in a wagon whipping 4 horses, and the horses seemed to plunge off into space. I had to climb high to get it, and once I brought it down, I was sure, I was positive that I had found a treasure, a prize, not something you kept hidden away from admiring eyes. If it were mine or were it mine, I know where it would be. Top shelf, place of honor, for all my friends to see. I tell you, it was better than any store-bought toy. Just looking at it for some strange reason filled my heart with joy. I had to show it to my father. I had to show it what I had, and carrying it carefully up the stairs, I took it to my dad. His eyes lit up when he saw it. He was awed. You could see it in his eyes. He understood what I had found. He understood the prize. Do you know who made this? He began to say. But like a roaring rhino out of the bush, my Aunt Celie saw it and grabbed the prize away. This was your Uncle Lou's boyhood foolishness, she said, and certainly shouldn't be here. I'll put it back where it belongs. And I want to thank you, dear, for being such a good little boy. And maybe if I think of it, well, one day I'll buy you a little toy. On the way home that evening, in the family's beat-up car, I looked over at my father, who they said played a sweet guitar. And in his youth, I knew, had dreams so great and grand. And for a couple of years, actually lived them, leading his musical band. But instability and children, and the needs of a loving wife forced him to put his guitar away. And while I have that guitar, I never heard him play, nor did I ever hear him say he was sorry about the race that he had run. But that night, on the way home, I knew he was thinking about past glimmers in the sun and about Uncle Lou's boyhood genius hidden in a basement far away, and about what both men had given up. Well, who could really say? For at that time, both men were relegated to the past, the task of petty schemes. And the only advice he ever gave me was that night when he said, Ted, don't betray your dreams. And that's why I write. That's why I keep going. I have 4 books out there now, and I hope that you'll go to Amazon and look me up and buy one and read one and let me know how you feel about it. Take care. Have a good day.